All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. Give me a second to refresh YouTube because you know that always takes a minute. It's a little bit slow. Hi, Jess. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm good. I'm trying to fix my earbud at the last second because I'm awful.
Oh, no.
But I'm good. How are
Uh,
you?
I
Oh,
am excellent. Boy, busy day. And chat is flying. Hi, everybody. Miss Sophia, thank you so much for the super chat. That came in long before we were live, but thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And for being a mod. Miss Sophia is one of our mods. We have Emily here. Rosie's here. Jess is here. Of course, she's on camera with me. Lots of the mods in the house. So thank you all for being here on this short notice live. Hi, everyone. Hey, Amy, Angel. Oh, I'm so glad to see you all. We have news today. We have some actual news apart from the speculative news that we're going to get into in a minute. So, Jess, are you excited for the next
I,
upcoming week?
oh, for the week? Yeah, yeah. I'm so excited for this news. You have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting on this. Oh man.
Yeah, so I have some tea to spill today. That's going to be interesting. But first, let's get the big news out of the way first, because it's kind of boring because it's not anything we can really get into too much other than speculation. The grand jury is wrapping up today. Do we expect to get a true bill this afternoon? I do. What do you think is going to happen, Jess?
I bet you they release it tomorrow at 5 o'clock because that's what they do to us every freaking weekend. Five
That is true.
o'clock. I'm counting on it tomorrow.
Yep. Usually Friday evenings is the document dump. We get a bunch of new filings, and then we have all weekend to stew on it because no one's available for comments and stuff. So, yeah, that will probably happen. I do expect the grand jury to return indictments on what
Oh
and
yeah.
for who. I certainly murdered for Chad, for Tammy's death, possibly for the children as well, possibly for Lori, maybe even for somebody else we don't know about yet. So we're just waiting, but I fully expect that to happen. And I do believe in this case, once the grand jury comes back with the indictments, Rob Wood will file the charges pretty quickly. So I'm anticipating today, tomorrow, Monday. That's going to be big news. So I hope we're all excited for that. Hi, Kresha. How are you doing? I saw that I have to get with you about our Discord stuff. Because that's exciting to have Kresha in Discord with us. I hope you're doing well. I know this is a rough time for you, but there are good things happening. It's time to be kind of excited for the week coming ahead. I cannot wait. So,
Absolutely.
what do you a couple things going on out in the world behind the scenes of this case. Yesterday, somebody was subpoenaed. Now, we don't know who they were subpoenaed by or what for or what, but we know that one of our dear friends, I don't know what other word to use there, Ms. Melanie Gibb was testifying before the grand jury and walked out of the courthouse and was served papers. She allegedly tried to refuse them and threatened to call Rob Wood, but ultimately she had to take them, so she was served. Now, we can spend all weekend speculating about what this was. Was it divorce papers? Maybe David finally had enough. Who knows? Maybe it was subpoenaed for information or a deposition or something. We don't know. But Melanie Gibb got served. And that, my friends, that made my heart skip a beat. It really did. You know that I've been whining and bemoaning and complaining of the fact that she hasn't really been
Absolutely.
investigated too much. So maybe that's what this means. Maybe. We don't know for sure. But I'm very excited to hear about that. What do you think, Jess, about little Miss Melanie?
Well, I think it's hilarious that she wanted to call Rob Wood. I mean, I guess that kind of tells us she's not expecting anything from him, so it probably wasn't him.
Right. He wouldn't have
Or
to
I don't
subpoena her.
know. I
She's one
mean,
of his witnesses. So
true.
yeah,
Yeah, never mind.
it could be from the defense or it could be from, I mean, it really could be divorce papers, which yeah, sorry. It could be. So we don't know what it is, but she was displeased with this turn of events.
Oh,
Um,
sweet
but
Melanie.
yeah. Kathy,
Poor.
thank you so much for the super chat. That super sticker is adorable. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So yeah. Now, Jenny Stern says Melanie Gibbs shouldn't be able to walk away from these murders as a free woman and a book deal. Well, yes. Now, I can't sit here and tell you I think Melanie murdered the kids. I don't know that at all. That's pure speculation. But she was one of the last people to see JJ alive. That to me warrants a deeper investigation than just accepting her word of what she wants to tell us her story. What do you think, Jess?
Yep, her and David both. I mean,
Hmm.
there's quite a few people on the outside edges of this that need to at least be gone over with a fine tooth comb, whether it's records or whatever, questioned, deposed, whatever they're going to do, you know,
Mm-hmm.
needs to be done. I'm waiting. I'm hoping they're shining up those bracelets for Melanie anytime. I'm ready.
Yep. I mean, just the fact that we know from Melanie's own testimony under oath on the stand that she lied to the police when they first called her, and she said that yes, JJ had been with her. And then it took, 10 days before she called and said, yeah, I kind of lied. To me, that right there should have warranted a giant investigation into her and her involvement in all this. But it doesn't seem that it did. So I'm hoping that's more what the subpoena is about, because that's not okay with me. The bottom line is she lied and obstructed the investigation into the whereabouts of JJ. And everyone thinks she's a saint? Saint Melanie? No. Mm-mm. That's my opinion on that. Rowan 2 says, Melanie Gibb said in the hearing she wasn't given a deal for her testimony. That's right. She also said she didn't have representation in her interview with Nate. She didn't have a lawyer because God will protect her or something.
Oh.
But she does not have a plea agreement or an immunity deal with the state. So why are there no charges for her?
Stupid girl. Because she's blabbing her mouth. I wouldn't give her one either if she's going to talk openly.
That's true.
I'd be stupid to give her a deal. Let her say something crazy, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Are you serious? She has a book deal?
I don't know if she does.
If somebody, honest to God, read her first book and offered her money for another one, they need their head examined.
Yep. And Kay Woodcock is in chat. Hello, Kay.
Hey,
I hope you're doing well. As this is an exciting weekend. I hope you're excited about this. I was feeling nervous yesterday, like, oh, what's going to happen? But today I'm feeling like, yeah, we got this. It's coming. We're going to have a true bill probably today. Charges by Monday. Everything's moving. And I don't know. I feel like celebrating. Nothing's happened yet, but I still feel like celebrating already. It's really great. Jenny Stern, where is Jenny, has a comment. Said, I'm with you 100% on this one. Melanie isn't a good person. She may not have murdered the kids, but she's a huge player in this case. Yeah, I don't know what the full level of her involvement is, but regardless, a full investigation should definitely be done. And that's one thing I want to see. So if the subpoena is part of that, then good, let's do it. So cases they're awaiting phone calls. Yep, I've got my phone right here. I'm not turning it off. Keep refreshing all the court websites and everything. I'm like, come on, we got to hear. Like, I would expect it this afternoon. So we've got 2 hours before court closes up there in Idaho. So we just got to make it through. So Jess, what do you think the focus of the grand jury is? We know that this is about JJ, Tylee, and Tammy, but given some of the witnesses that have, been blabbing that they were called, I'm kind of curious, what do you think that they're focused on? Is this more about Tammy or just a combination of all of them equally?
I think it's going to be more about Tammy, just because that's what's happened most recently, I guess. Like, her autopsy has come back and that kind of stuff. But I'm sure they're going to just wrap it all together, I mean, they're all three found on the same property. It's hard to deny
that is true.
It's not connected because they were all there,
Yep. A lot of questions flying in chat. Let me try and catch up with chat. Chardin is asking, what does it mean when they get served? Well, it's served a subpoena, whether it's to produce evidence in some way, or it could be divorce papers, where they have to appear in court or answer to some sort of summons from someone. Because we don't see, Melanie did not certainly go on an interview with Nate and show us whatever papers she got, but she was formally served some sort of papers by a process server, who's someone who works for the court, who will deliver legal documents that generally are a summons or subpoena of some kind. So we're going to have to wait, and maybe, who knows, maybe she'll call Nate and want to do an interview about it, and we'll hear. But
would you not pay good money if that person had a body camera on?
Yeah.
The look on her face, I'd have paid good money for that.
Yep. Henriette Erasmus, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Oh, and a new one also from Jean Marie. Thank you, guys. I really, really appreciate those. They really help me to keep doing this and to keep digging behind the scenes. So We have good news coming. We have good news coming. There's a lot happening. Certainly with the grand jury, we all got very excited about that, rightfully so, because it shows that the case is moving forward. We're not just hanging around with conspiracy to conceal evidence charges. That's not good enough. There's a lot more that happened than somebody concealing some evidence. We have 2 children who were murdered. We have Tammy's death that's suspicious, Charles's death, Joseph's death, Alex's death. We need this grand jury. So I'm very excited that it's wrapping up today and to get news. But the other side of the thing, we have a lot going on, Jess, don't we, with this case? A lot of stuff we're doing. There are some questions flying around the internet that have gotten back to me. So I want to answer a few things. First, Dal Pace, thank you for the super sticker. Says thank you with that cute little pear. I love it. Thank you so much for
I
the
love that hair. That's cute.
Mary Ann asks, is there any idea when the trial will be? Well, that really depends on which trial you're talking about. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a whole slew of new charges after this grand jury. The trial for that, which will probably combined with what we currently have, is not going to happen for another year or two at this rate. You know, these things take a long time. In most cases, if you watch a lot of true crime and trial news, you'll see that initial charges come and it can be 2, 3, 4 years before it actually gets to trial. There's a lot that happens in the background. So we're going to have to be super patient with that. Yeah, that's how it works. It's how our justice system works. So unfortunately, but one thing I wanted to talk about, our research project, because this is kind of big news. Let me bring it up on the screen. Google Sheets, here we go. I've said a couple times lately that I'm doing a really big research project and asked if anyone wanted to jump in and help. And we've had some people come in and come on board with us and help get some of the work done. Let me find a safe page.
Thank you, Okie Dokie. You got another super chat.
Oh, there I am. I'm tabbed out. I'm looking at my Google spreadsheet.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Okie Dokie, for the super chat. It says, thank you, never quit. So I want to show you a little bit about what we're doing. I'm going to share this page on the screen. I can't share all of it, but I can put some of it up so you get an idea. Chrome tab. Here we go. All right, this is my project. This is just part of it. I'm working on a master timeline. And if you see, I've got all the entries of everything that we can think of that happened. You know, if we know a phone call, if we know somebody went to so-and-so's house, or anything from statements and podcasts and TV interviews and you name it, wherever we can find this information, we're plugging it in. You see all the tabs at the bottom. I've got all the years separated, cell phone pings, all kinds of stuff, right? So I can't show all of it on screen because a lot of it is not fit for public consumption, but that's what I'm working on. All right. And we have a team of 13 people who are working on this. We are collating every single piece of information we can find about all of these people and putting it into a database, kind of like, you know, Annie Cushing's timeline and her database. That is an amazing resource of information. So we're doing that, but we're trying to expand it to include all the peripheral players too, and piecing things together. And you can see a lot of patterns starting to emerge. And this information is available to the prosecutors or to anyone that wants it, you know, who's involved in handling the legal side of this case. So that's what I'm doing. You might hear a lot of strange things floating around the internet, especially Facebook. God help them. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a research project. That's it. So I wanted that out there so people understand, because I've had some questions the last few days from some people. You know who you are. Knock it off. That's not what's happening. Oh, so yeah, we're doing a huge, giant research project. I've also just teamed up with Kresha. There's one person in the world who has more screenshots than I do, and that's Kresha.
Oh my gosh.
We have terabytes of screenshots and photos and all this stuff to get through and get it all sorted. So that's what I'm doing. My main reason for doing that is that I don't see the state really looking at some of the other people in this case that clearly at least knew something or other. You know what I'm saying, Jess?
Yep. Yeah. It's weird. I mean, wouldn't you have thought we would have seen subpoenas like this earlier?
Yes.
You know, it's been a year. I mean, we're coming on a year since the kids were found.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not even like since I started, but like since the kids were found. I was shocked that this was happening this late in the game.
Yep. And Okie dokie, thank you again for the super chat. He says, remember Long Crime said not even Al knew where the kids were on the recorded call. Only they knew. Yeah, well, that was Melanie Gibb saying that Al said he didn't know or she didn't want to know or something. But you have to take everything that comes from Melanie Gibb with a grain of salt. You know, that's one thing that we've learned with this project that we're doing is so many things that we think we know about the case really only come from her mouth. And that's not a good source. So it's really made me go back and want to revisit everything that we think we know and try to find some sort of corroborating evidence that shows, yes, this happened, or no, Melanie Gibb's just crazy. You know, so
I don't know if she's crazy or not, but she's very manipulative, in my opinion. That sweet demeanor of hers makes her come off innocent and naive, and it plays well for her.
Mm-hmm.
It's got her this far.
Yep. So that's really my life's work. A lot of people say, oh, hey, when you're just a YouTuber. I'm really not. I make videos on the side, but I'm doing research all day. That's what I really do. This is just, I don't know, something else to do. But there's a lot going on. So if you do want to help with the research project, it is a lot of work. We do run kind of a tight ship. Like you have to post something at least every couple of days and make sure, you know, things are happening. But if you'd like to pitch in, we can always use more hands. We have a lot of new data coming in that we're going to have to sort. You know, so it's really like literal. You're taking a photograph, putting it in the right folder, making sure it gets uploaded to the right place in the cloud. And it's just a lot of technical, boring work. But in the end result, we'll pretty much know everything we could possibly find out publicly and then put it all together in a nice little story. See what happens. So I'm really excited about that. You know,
it's overwhelming. It's definitely one person could never do this. I mean, it would take years to go through just the information that we have right now.
Yep.
It's crazy big.
Yep. And one of the main goals of this, when we look at the big picture, right? We all know about preparing people, and we know about a vow, and we've heard of these groups. But when you sit back and you look at the big picture of them, they're still doing the same stuff that they did that brought us Chad and Lori. All right, they're still promoting the same extremist beliefs. They're promoting the same crazy thinking. They're selling fear and all of this stuff that created the environment in which Chad and Lori were able to become who they are. Right. And that's a problem for me because we're going to see another Chad and Lori if this stuff doesn't stop. We really will. And I can't handle another Chad and Lori. These two have been quite enough. Thank you very much. So it's important to shed light on it. You know, sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Yep.
You know, and remember that live that I did about how when I discovered Preparing a People had shut all their stuff down, started all these other projects. I was like, oh, well, here's what they're doing now. Right. And remember how angry they got with me? Oh, man.
Yeah.
They were not happy. They were not happy at all. Ooh, but that's the reason I'm doing it is because as long as these groups are flourishing and they're still having all of these talks and these events where all these people are going and spinning this crazy doomsday stuff, how long do you think it's going to be before we're not going to see another incident of this? You know, don't you think that's inevitable?
We don't know that it's not already happened.
True.
We don't. This year has been crazy. It wouldn't surprise me a bit. But anytime you have a power vacuum that empties out, somebody fills in the gap. It happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you plug the hole. But that's what they're going to do.
Definitely. Yep. So that's my main focus is having, you know, the people who create environments that allow people to become crazy like this and foster it and push it and promote it get called out, you know. And I don't think it's this is a funny thing to say, but I don't think it's fair that Lori's in jail while Melanie Gibb is not. No, that's just my personal, you know, come on.
They're best friends. Put them in a pod together. That'll be cute.
It would be cute. Yeah.
It would be. They take pictures together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yes, Melanie Gibb has been served by someone for something. We don't know what's in the papers. We don't know who sent them, but to me, that's a very good step. The more papers like that she gets, probably the better. So I'm very happy about that. Tara says, I thought that why did MG did that recording too? I also think Chad and Lori knew she was probably recording. So all three were trying to cover their asses. Now, this is what I think about that phone call. And again, the speculation red light is flashing. When you listen to the call, very early on, Lori says, "Are you recording this?" And to me, what that said was Melanie Gibb was saying things to Lori that Lori knew Melanie Gibb was making up. She's like, well, you already know that. Why are you asking me that? That sort of, this is fishy, right? So I think Melanie made that recording to try and make herself look good, where Lori's like, nah, girl, you know what you just said to me is not true. So why would you say that? Oh, you're recording it. I see. That's what I think about that phone call. Is that true or not? Well, may never know, but that's what I think is going on there. What do you think about that crazy call?
That call was crazy. It reminds, every time I think about that, I laugh.
That
It
commercial?
reminds me of the Orbit Gum commercial when it's like, that, what is it, you gross lint liquor or whatever
Yep.
it is. That's what I think of when they start calling each other names. Those two little women in the office fighting on the Orbit Gum commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Who you calling the cootie queen? You something,
Lit
something,
liquor, yeah.
lint liquor. That's what it is. That's
Yep.
what it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Especially when Lori comes back at Melanie like, oh, you want to yell at me about being married and cheating on my spouse? Yeah, what about you? And she's like, we're not talking about me, Lori. Like, yeah, okay. All right, here we go. Cat fight, Goodness.
It's crazy.
Jean Marie, thank you for the super chat. She says, Melanie Gibb is not having a good day. When I totally agree about Melanie in the recording. Yep. Excellent. And yeah, she's not having a good day. From what I was told, she was very angry when she got that little piece of paper. She didn't even want to take it and say, I'm going to call Rob Wood. Yeah. What good's that going to do you?
Honey, you need to call you a lawyer.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, maybe she could call Garrett Smith.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Oh, that would be something. Let's see. Carolyn says, I wonder what David's family thought about Melanie Gold Digger Gibb. Poor David. I don't know what his family thought. I'm not sure I'm ready to say poor David just yet. I have some concerns about him too, but I don't know.
He married that ball of crazy. I don't feel sorry for him.
He did. Blue Velvet River says the whole Korihor battle they had was crazy. Laura Hor didn't like anyone acting like they had authority over her. Yep, that's true. It's like, how dare you call me into question? Look at what you're doing yourself, that's a point. Melanie Gibb was not doing anything different than Lori was. She left her kids. Well, at least she didn't kill her kids, but she left her kids to go be with someone else while they were married. And Melanie Gibb's trying to call Lori out for the same thing. It's like, wait a minute. How come it's okay when you do it, but not when Lori does? Pick a side. But
Hot meat kettle.
Yeah. Definitely. Jenny Stern says, Melanie Gibb wasn't as smart as she thought when she was recording that call. Too many obvious lies. I almost wonder if she was trying to make comments to protect Lori instead of help convict her. That's possible. That's quite possible, Jenny. Some of the things said, well, Alex said, you don't want to know where the kids are. What does that mean? You think she didn't know when she said that? But yeah, she could have been trying to protect all of them.
I think it was not planned. I think she was insanely jealous and mad, and she thought, oh, I'll do this, and didn't think it all the way through. That's what I think, anyway. Yep. It was, I'll show my butt, I guess, kind of thing,
Blue Velvet River is talking about David Warwick's writings. David Warwick is also a prophet or a seer or visionary, whatever you want to call it. He has visions from beyond the veil, whatever, But all of his visions they're generally politically based. Like, one of his visions I read was he saw Donald Trump being escorted down the escalator at an airport by the army because the deep state was going to arrest him or some crap like that. They're all very crazy things like that. China's going to nuke us any day, so we need to get into the mountain. Not sure what he's talking about there. Maybe one of the mountains. What is that mountain called where they have all the records? I forget the name of it.
Mount Doom. I don't know.
The LDS Church owns a very large mountain, Granite Mountain. It's called Granite Mountain, where they have tunneled very, very far into this Granite Mountain to keep all of the data records that they've amassed over, the last 100 years or so. Maybe that's what David was talking about. Wants to go live in Granite Mountain. I don't know. I just don't know. The giant mountain bunker. There really is, Jenny. There really is a giant mountain bunker. No lie. And I just found that out the other day. I'm like, for real? And why do they have all of these records on every person that was ever born and all this genealogy stuff? And I'm like, a little creeped out by that, but whatever. But David Warwick talks about that kind of stuff a lot in his visions. And there is, if you search YouTube, you can find some of his talks. One of them was like 4 hours long. I could not get through it. It's 4 hours of crazy town.
Oh my God,
But
4 hours.
yeah, David Warwick he's not preaching LDS doctrine. He's totally going off the rails, just like all the rest of them. If these were people talking about, what they found that they loved from the Book of Mormon and actual doctrine, that's one thing, but they're not. They're making up crazy stuff and they're promoting it as fact. That's not okay. It's definitely not okay. And that's the environment that allows people like Chad and Lori to flourish in what the crazy stuff that they did, and that's how we have all of these dead people, allegedly. So I want that to stop. I want the LDS Church to come out and say, no, you cannot do this stuff. We will excommunicate you and call you out publicly to stop selling the crazy. I wish they would do that. I do, but they don't tend to.
This group of people, if they would take up automatic writing, like ghostwriters or whatever, their novels would make a lot more sense, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody from beyond the veil has a better grammar than they do. I don't know. There's your hit, Melanie Gibb. Take up automatic writing. Maybe some alien.
Don't suggest that because they'll try it. Lisa discovers, thank you for the super chat. Says, are these people eating mushrooms or something? You would think so. You really would. This whole, we talked about people behind the veil, or we got sealed by people with authority from beyond the veil. It's like, oh man, it's not okay. So Kresha says, so let us recognize this is a cult. Rick Ross recognizes it. Check his website every day. I do. I do think that this is a cult. Absolutely. Because the people who are promoting the doctrines can't be questioned. If you question it, you're an apostate or whatever, apostasy. Or, and I'm not talking about the LDS Church. I'm talking about the preparing a people type groups. Those people.
Yeah.
A vow, certainly. It's when you sell fear, when you're selling the world is going to go up in flames any day now, come be with us and we'll keep you safe. That's a cult. Okay. When you're selling fear and religious-based fear and doctrine-based fear, but skirting everything and twisting everything in this really vile way, that's a cult. That's a cult.
And isolation. That's usually the first thing. As soon as they get you in their claws, if they start isolating you and you don't see a way out, that's a cult. That's a cult.
Why is Awen using the Oprah Winfrey face and voice filter? Right. Okay. You can go away. I'm not. Just stop it. Gosh, people. Let's ask some good questions. Jenny Stern says, can we please not start in on the politics and political parties? That drags everyone down into the mud and then it starts being slung at everyone. You're right. And I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to explain that David's beliefs are politically based. Most of his prophecies, not his beliefs, his prophecies that he puts forward are usually based in politics and geopolitics, and it's really weird. So that's all. I didn't mean to bring up a political debate, but that was one of his visions, and it was posted on a vow. So, yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa's cover says, absolute cult. I grew up in church, second row, piano side. Never heard such craziness. Yeah. I was never raised as a very religious type, but I always sang in church choirs because I was a vocalist when I was young. And I never heard anything crazy. Church services I went to, whether it was the Gloria Dei Lutheran Church or the Protestant Church or the Catholic Church, I went to all the churches in my town singing all the time. But they were always uplifting. They would always, people would leave there feeling happy and uplifted and at peace for the week, till next Sunday. But that's not what any of these other groups are about. They're about fear and terror and, crazy stuff. That's not all right with me. Like Kresha says, we have to get comfortable talking about uncomfortable things. Yes, and I will definitely throw the cult term around when it comes to this group. And I don't just mean Chad and Lori, I mean the much wider group, the Jason Maus, the Melanie Gibbs, the David Warwicks, the Hector Sosas, the Christopher Parrots, on and on and on and on that list goes. Because like Jess, you said, the isolation, they pull you away from your friends and your family. They try to keep you in their little close-knit group so you don't ask questions a lot. And that's terrible.
Yep.
So Dora asks, what time are they going on? What time is who going on where? I'm not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about the grand jury, you're not going to see that. The grand juries are always secret. They will not be publicized. So we're not here to watch that. We're just here to talk about what's happening. I had some news about Melanie Gibb being served, so I really wanted to spill that tea because that's kind of fun. And we're just waiting now. We're waiting for the grand jury to come back with their findings, with hopefully indictments and then charges in the next couple of days. So, all right, let's go on to somebody's asking about Nate Eaton. What do you think about Nate being called to testify, Jess? That's an interesting topic.
I personally don't think it's a good idea when they start bringing in news reporters. You know, a lot of states have laws against it, but Idaho does that. I just think it's bad. But
Sure,
I fully expect it's going to be, you know, they're going to question him, and he'll be fine. It's Nate. He didn't do anything wrong, you know.
Yep. Now, and what they're calling him about is for the June 9th hearing. We're going to hear the change of venue argument. And I'm pretty sure that they're calling Nate because, remember, Nate was the one who broke that story that the defense was running that survey, you know, asking people what they thought about the case or if they'd heard of it, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure John Pryor is calling Nate to talk about that. How did you hear about the survey? What did they say to you? You know, but now that's pretty innocuous. You know, Nate certainly isn't in any trouble of any kind, but there is that separation where the press should be free to report on the facts. And that's what Nate did. He shouldn't be called as a witness because of that. Also, considering the fact that Pryor is bringing in the people that did that survey, what do you need Nate for? You know, you don't need to ask Nate. You need to ask the people that did the survey what they found and go with that. And yeah, Idaho does not have a shield law. So I believe that the lawyers that are working for Nate are going to try and quash the subpoena. Will that happen? Probably. Because I don't think they really need him. So he might not have to testify.
How stupid was that? I think that they're calling Nate in because his testimony is more credible than the survey company that they used. I mean, it seems to be not very, they've already been thrown out as not an expert witness in a previous hearing.
Yep.
Maybe that's why they're going for Nate. But I mean, good grief, when you're in a town with 5 people, you go outside and stand in front of Walmart and ask them if they've heard about so-and-so. They probably have, you know. It's not a big town.
Right. Miss Wee Lassie says that she read that Nate got called because of the helicopter footage when it first broke about law enforcement being a Chaz. That wouldn't make any sense, certainly for a change of venue hearing. And certainly he did everything he could to stay at a proper distance and this and that. I don't see how that would benefit John Pryor to question him about that, but maybe. We should be able to watch that hearing on the 9th, and we will definitely be watching that hearing on the 9th. But speaking of the lay witnesses that you brought up, let's talk about Andrea Frick. That's a thing. Andrea Frick is, she's listed as one of the lay witnesses that John Pryor is going to call for his change of venue motion. Now, on one hand, I'm like, okay, so she did this casual, unofficial type survey thing. First of all, you probably should have hired a company to do it, not just people off the street. But I don't know her qualifications for that, although Rob Wood had quite a go at her in his previous motion in limine about her as a lay witness. But it turns out she has all of these glowing reviews of John Pryor as an attorney all over the internet, like his Google reviews and stuff like that. And this was from, 2018, I think? I don't even remember when it was. But she has these reviews of how great he was as an attorney and how great he did handling her case. And I'm like, that's a conflict of interest, isn't it? Isn't it? What do you think about that?
You scratch your back or scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe he used somebody that he knew.
Yep.
And didn't think anybody would find out. I mean, for crying out loud, it's a Google review kind of deal.
Yep.
all we did was Google her name and it popped up.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
It
and
was
her husband or ex-husband or something, Russell Frick, he also has reviews on there, and it's like, wait, you both used the same divorce attorney? That doesn't make sense. But it looks more like they both used him to divorce their other spouses, and they got married. I don't even know. It's confusing. But Andrea Frick is all over John Pryor's stuff, giving him glowing reviews, and to me, I'm just waiting for the new motion in limine to say, nah, she can't testify. She's a personal friend of his or an ex-client or this and that. But there's a lot of that in this case. We have other issues of that with Garrett Smith and Lori's previous legal stuff from years ago. There's just so many conflicts. But part of that is because it is such a small area. It's not like we're not talking about a city here. This is a very small rural area where everybody knows everybody. To come up with an entire situation and then 12 jurors on top of it where nobody knows anybody else, that's going to be tricky. It really is. Oh.
I think they'll absolutely get the change of venue. I don't even think that's debatable. I don't see how anybody would make a statement that it should stay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we have to have a hearing about it. I think they should just agree to it and go on. Get it on a schedule. I do.
Yep.
It's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Man, I wish we get Judge Edens back.
I'm reading chat just to catch up.
Yep.
Let's see.
My voice is going.
Oh, no. That's not good. There's so many questions in chat. I know I'm missing things. If there's a question you really want me to answer, tag me in it so I won't miss it because it's hard to scroll up. Sometimes chats get going too fast. Spread Love Not Hate says, wasn't David the one who was looking into buying the property for their tent city? Sort of. The testimony that we have about that is that Chad and Alex and Melanie and David and a realtor and possibly Lori, depending on who you listen to, all went to view this piece of property, which is right down the street from Chad's house. It's very close. And they were going to buy it and possibly develop it. Now, nobody testified as to why. So the whole tent city thing is just our own interpretation of that. So we don't know why they were looking at it. But Melanie said something about because David was a contractor or something. So that's why he was looking at the property too. So I don't know. But yeah, that's if you're willing to go look at property to buy, to spend all that money to develop for this mission, you're in on it. You're in on the mission. So I agree with you there.
That or they needed to start a dang cemetery between all of them. I mean, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Chad's backyard ain't that big.
Yep. There's a conversation going in chat about how Melanie Gibb was served and how anyone knew of its secret. A lot of people have talked about this, right? This is not Rexburg's best kept secret ever. We knew that they were having the grand jury because somebody called Court TV and told them, right? So Court TV ran the story. They probably shouldn't have, but it was a good scoop. So we knew the grand jury was happening. We knew when it was happening. It's a really small town. All you had to do was go hang out at the courthouse and you'd see everyone that was showing up there. So not a big mystery of how they found out she would be there and all that stuff. Oh, Aunt Pena, thank you for the super chat. She says, the pictures are making this so real. And having an autistic son, my heart just breaks. And I have an autistic son too. And I often think about that when I'm thinking about JJ and how amazing and beautiful autistic kids are. I know quite a few, and my son, and to think that anyone could harm a child like that, it's not much will get my blood boiling faster than that. You don't mess with a special needs mom, and somebody messed with JJ, and somebody needs to be held accountable for that. So and Tyler and everyone else too.
All of the people need to be held responsible that helped facilitate whatever happened,
Mm-hmm. Treasure says, according to Melanie Pulowski, her Aunt Lori and Uncle Chad had been planning to move to Hawaii when they evaded police after the welfare check. Mm-hmm. Yep. So why would they buy that property there unless they were going to have maybe Melanie and David be in charge of the Rexburg crew part of their $144,000? Who knows what these two were doing? Hopefully we're going to find out because that's just crazy. How sweet would it be if they could prove that Melanie Gibb lied on the stand so she can be charged with perjury? I think that's the goal of any defense attorney in any case. And when the state brings on a witness, you want to show that they lied to impeach their credibility, to make the jury disregard everything they said, and possibly follow through with some perjury charges. So, I'm pretty sure that is the goal with her and probably all the other witnesses too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
A lot
crazy.
a lot of people. Yeah, almost everyone in chat is saying they have an autistic kid or know an autistic child or there's one in their family, because it's what, 1 in 50 children
I think it's
recently
higher
are
than that
autistic.
now.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it's
getting.
higher than that.
Mhm.
There's one I noticed today when I was zooming through the news. There's one missing. 15-year-old boy. Gosh, where was he? Could have been Ohio, but I could be wrong about that. But
Mhm.
he went missing yesterday. He walked out of school. And they said he might be thinking that they're playing hide and seek with him. And so they're looking for this 15-year-old autistic boy right now.
That's awful. Oh, that stuff makes my heart just break into pieces.
Yeah.
Kathy Lawrence says she would love to see Melanie Gibb charged with something. I just want to see her investigated. We have no idea if she did or didn't do anything, but she needs to be at least looked at, very, very carefully. I want to see her cell phone records. We know that somebody helped Lori steal Charles's truck. Who was that? Where was Melanie Gibb on that day? Somebody fired shots at Brandon that probably required more than one person driving the Jeep and someone shooting. Who was driving? Where's her phone records? Where was she around the time that Tammy died? Where was she around the time Alex died? I want Melanie Gibb's phone records. So hopefully somebody will get them and start looking at them.
Well, we do know, I mean, in my opinion, obviously I'm not a lawyer and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night. From what she admitted on the stand, she lied to police, which could be an obstruction of justice charge.
Right.
She could get charged for something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think, I've often wondered, well, what's going on with her and Rob Wood? Because Rob Wood certainly isn't calling her to task and is kind of, babying her along. Is he trying to make her feel safe and comfortable so that she'll keep talking? But if I was a defense attorney, please put Melanie Gibb on the stand, please, because you can destroy her credibility in 5 minutes flat. She's not a good witness for the state.
I think Rob Wood is going to use her till the last minute and then hit her with charges too, so that she doesn't testify. He wants her to blab her mouth to get evidence and get whatever else she wants to put out there to Nate Eaton or whoever will listen to her. He's not going to put her on the stand. There's no way.
Yep.
No way. In my opinion.
How can the rest of you look at the research project? I'm not making it public to anyone at this point. My research team can access it because they're all helping to work on it. But I'm doing it because should somebody decide to look at Melanie Gibb and want all the information, or any of these other people, Melanie, Ian, Summers, Zulema, you name it, any of them, I'll have this body of information to be like, here you go. It's everything you need to know. Everything that's you can find on the internet about any of these people is right there in a handy dandy timeline with links and supporting documentation. So at this point, I'm not making it public for the wider world, but for those who might be able to impact the course of justice, we'll say that, but anyone can help. If you really want to help work on it, please let me know. I keep it compartmentalized because you got to do that. But it is there, and there will come a day, maybe when we have, the trials going and all the information is out, that I can make it public. But for now,
if everybody else is going to get a book deal, you might as well write one.
I'm not writing a book. I am not writing a book.
Come on.
No.
Let's not write it and publish it. Just do an audio book. Everybody loves your voice. Everybody wants you to read them a bedtime story. You can make some little kid zombie story. I don't know. Let me tell you about the Wicked Witch Lori that lives under the bed. Something.
My goal at the end of this, I'm never going to write a book about this case, but if I did anything, it would be, this is how extremist religious cults cause people to end up dead. Quit it. That would be my book. Quit it. Just stop with this nonsense, That's what I would like to do, because I think without groups like Avow, and without groups like Preparing a People, and without groups that support and promote these extremist beliefs, this stuff might not have happened. So why are we not calling that out more? Why do we say, oh, that's my friend, they're going to that crazy, weird Preparing a People event, whatever, ha ha ha. No, why are we not jumping up and down and say, stop it? That's baloney. It's nonsense. It's dangerous. Quit it. Don't do it. Why do we just let it happen? Oh, that's just their thing. No, it's not their thing. It causes people to think the world is ending, so they may as well go kill a bunch of people. Just, drives me
And
nuts.
you as an individual, or you as a group, like a family or whatever, if you see these groups and you know that they are a cult and they're coming to your town, you can write letters to whoever owns the venue that they're renting and say, we don't want this here. If enough people do that, they might not come to your town.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do to stop this. That's way before we get to dead people in court.
Definitely.
There's a lot of things that can happen.
Yep.
I don't know. People crazy.
Like Kresha says, I don't like it when everyone waters it down. They killed my family. Yeah, they did. These cultist belief type things led to the deaths of JJ and Tylee and Charles and probably Joseph and Alex and Tammy too. Well, certainly Alex may have had a role in it, but that's a whole different monster. But yeah, if it wasn't for all of this crazy stuff, they'd probably all still be alive, Goodness. So that's what my focus is on this. I want justice for those kids, and then I want these cults stopped. I want it stopped. Carolyn says, isn't Awen studying astrophysics? She has a big brain. I have a very sore brain. My brain hurts. It's been on overload the past couple weeks. But yes, I am studying astrophysics. It is my goal to have a PhD in astrophysicism. Oh, God. Yeah, I want a PhD in astrophysics before I die. So that's my goal. But yes, my brain is absolutely oatmeal this week. Now I have a hair in my face somewhere. Great.
It's been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? It's been a crazy one.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff going on in so many cases.
Yeah, that's why I can only cover this case. I was not. Sorry, I got this dang hair. I was not ever going to have a true crime YouTube channel. Never.
No.
But this case, I will never let go of it until it's done. I can't. But I also can't cover other cases because I wake up thinking about JJ. I go to bed thinking about Tylee. I dream about Charles. It's like I live and breathe this case because I can't stand it. It hits every single one of my I can't stand that things that I've ever had in my life. This case nails all of them. So I'm like a rabid dog with a bone.
Tylee and my oldest son were born the same year. And then JJ and my middle son Noah have the same birthday. So I keep thinking, oh, his birthday is next Tuesday. And I'm like, that's JJ's birthday too. I think I'll probably always think that now,
Yeah, definitely. Rowan to you asked, do I believe that we will hear all of Melanie Pulowski's husband's wiretapes, meaning Ian Pulowski's?
No.
I'm not sure. They certainly could bring them into trial if they wanted to. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of point to that from the state's perspective. It's possible. I think someday. No, but they might be released after the trial as part of the discovery, so we may get to see them someday. But I don't think they're going to bring all of them into trial, although it'd be interesting if they did. Jenny says, I feel you with the mush brain. Every day this school year has caused me to lose an IQ point, lose focus easily, and not put clues together easily. Yeah, it's okay to admit fatigue. Yeah, I'm definitely reaching the point of fatigue. What's helped me get through this week is Resident Evil Village just released. So I need a break from this. I go shoot zombies for an hour. You don't know what?
I don't know how that calms you down. It's a freaking zombie game.
This one is actually werewolves and vampires, but
okay. Shows you what I know.
I need to take that break. And yes, Jean Marie, my new word, astrophysicism. That is my new cult.
Astrophysicism.
This is the cult of astrophysicism.
She does the science.
Oh, That's awful. It's so embarrassing. Lady Rainstar says it's a very hard case to digest emotionally. I will never get over how someone could kill the kids, let alone Charles or Tammy. Yeah, and that's the thing is, we cover so many tragic, heartbreaking cases. So just this week, the ones that
Oh,
Jess has been
God.
talking about on her channel, which if the mods could put a link to Jess's channel, it's like I can't take it. There's so many, and they are so awful. This case is just as awful as any of those and every other one, but to me, it grabbed me more because of the cult aspect of it, because of the religious extremist, because of these crazy beliefs, and the fact that it's still going on.
Yeah.
That just gets me. Gets me. At least it doesn't involve killing people. Yeah, my cult does not involve killing people. We're just going to
And
look at stars.
as bad as it is now, like just what we know now, is heartbreaking. I cannot imagine what it's going to do when we watch the trial and we see the medical examiner
Yeah.
testify, and I can't. It's gonna be hard.
Yep.
It's gonna
Cat
be hard.
Stallsworth says, sorry I'm behind, but I 100% agree that the seeds are there for another Lori and Chad. It would only take someone being a little bit smarter to pull off what they tried to. Absolutely. 100%. Yep. And Sandy Lee says, does anyone wonder what happened to Jason Mao in that group? We know what happened to Jason Mao in that group. And that's part of my focus is that group is still doing that group's things. They do it under new names now, but Jason Mao is still a part of it. He's still attending events and speaking and even teaching kids and stuff. So
Working with the youth group, yeah,
it hasn't
that's not
stopped.
scary.
It has not stopped. They just have new names now. Color My Media changed to Latter Day Media. Now, instead of Preparing a People, it's Book of Mormon Evidence and Come Follow Me 2020 and the Firm Foundation and some other weird name that I can't remember off the top of my head. They're still very much doing exactly what they were doing when they created Chad and Lori. So, yeah. Hi, Chippy Hick. I love that name. She's late to the show. Can hardly wait to see what happens to Melanie Gibb. Yeah, me too. Me too.
Can you imagine that girl in jail? Oh man.
Oh, I can't. I really can't. Oh, hi, Half Brother. How you doing?
Oh man.
All right, so let's recap what we have going on today. The grand jury should be wrapping up today. We may even get a true bill from them today. It may happen tomorrow. It could be wait a couple days, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get indictments from the grand jury any minute. I am on News Watch. Got my phones, all my screens are open. I'm just waiting for the first hint that we have the findings from the grand jury. I will expect as soon as we get the indictments from the grand jury, we will have charges by Rob Wood within a day or two, if not even the same day. I think all those charges are ready to go, and he's just waiting to drop them. So stay tuned this weekend. All right, we won't hear anything Saturday or Sunday, but we might hear something today from the grand jury or tomorrow. Charges by Monday or Tuesday. It's a really big time. Now, yes, these are only charges. They're still going to have to go to trial. It's still going to take a couple of years, but this is what we've been waiting for a year to see. How many times have people said, hey, when are we going to get murder charges? When are we getting murder charges? Finally, they're on the horizon, and it could be hours from now, or it could be Monday. So, Chippy Hick, thank you so much for the super chat. Says you are amazing. That sticker is great with the confetti.
Cute.
I'm telling you, I look like a pear. I have not been dieting. I got to fix this. I need this to go to trial so I can relax and go back to dieting. Ugh, God, Lord help us.
So tonight we have your Toxic Bliss.
I almost forgot.
Well, keep us going, Edwin. Keep us going.
Help, Jess, help.
I know. Tonight we have the Narcissism Toxic Bliss talk for channel members and Patreons at 8 o'clock Eastern, which is 7 o'clock your time, right?
Yep. Tonight's going to be a good talk. We're going to talk about love bombing. And certainly this is something, last week we talked about spiritual narcissism, which really played into this case. But so does love bombing, because it's how normal thinking, sane people can fall into these situations. So a lot of people say, I would never fall for a narcissist. Oh, really? Really? Yeah, you probably would. So we're going to talk about how love bombing works. Right.
And it's why they stay. It's the love bombing that gets you through the real low valleys because you always think you're going to get back to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just to interrupt that train of thought, Mary Hodgins asked a good question. She can't understand why Nate and Justin are silent. Basically, because they're actual journalists with actual news organizations. I'm a YouTuber. I'm just going to sit and tell you what the heck is on my mind. They're held to a much higher standard. Okay. I do talk to Justin and I say hi to him a lot. The Melanie Gibbs subpoena thing or serving thing that happened yesterday, Nate and Justin, what are they going to say? Well, someone told us that something happened and Melanie got some papers. Haha. That's not a news story. That's a rumor. Even though we know it happened for sure, they need some sort of a verification of that and more information. Just like when we talked about Court TV saying we have unnamed sources that say there's a grand jury. All of us went, what? What are you doing there? That was very questionable of them to do that. So that's why Nate and Justin are quiet, because they will go when we get the grand jury indictments, when we get the new charges, that they will go with that 100%, because that's factual, verifiable, tangible stuff that they can talk about. Anything where sure, they can say, we know who said Melanie Gibb got served. But if all they can say is, well, it's an unnamed source, generally they don't do that so much. They have these two are some of the most highest integrity reporters I've ever seen. So they're not going to run with something like that. I can, because I don't have a boss at Fox News who's going to bonk me over the head if I say something like that. So I'm a little bit freer to say things that they're not. Henriette, thank you again for the next super chat. She says, next time with a waving hippo. That's adorable. Thank you so much. But yes, you can be sure if I know something, Nate and Justin know something, and then probably more. So there's a reason they're not saying it. I'm not that responsible, I guess. Yeah. I was just too happy to see Melanie get served. Would the papers she was served with be for the trial? I'm not sure, Cynthia. They could be divorce papers from David Warwick, for all we know. They could be a subpoena for information or records or deposition, or I don't know. They could be a whole lot of things. Maybe they could even be from a landlord. If I don't know where she lives anymore. She moves a lot. So who knows what it is? It could be anything. But the fact that she
order, you name it.
Yep.
Yeah, could be anything.
Yep, could be anything. So we're going to have to wait and see. Maybe she'll do an interview with Nate and tell him all about it and show him. It's possible. Nate, if you're out there, I'd really like to see that, whatever she got. That would be cool. Oh. So yeah, that's what's going on with the case. So stay tuned. Certainly the second we hear anything, no matter what's going on, I will come live, especially if you've got indictments or charges. So hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And be happy. This is really good news. I can't conceive of a situation in which this grand jury comes back without indictments. I can't imagine a no bill response. I can't. So let's be happy. Let's go with that. Let's, get some justice. I'm excited. So yeah, we do have the live tonight in 2 hours, right here on the channel. It's for Patreons and channel members. We're going to talk about love bombing and narcissism and all that good stuff. There's a link in chat to Jess's channel, Mistrial. If you want to follow a lot, she's following some really big top current cases that are happening. They're really tragic, but boy, are they eye-opening. So follow her over there and give a watch to those. And she will be with me again in a couple hours right here, because we just can't stop. We're on a roll.
Tomorrow, did that go? Yeah. That link is my live chat on my channel that you're coming on. And we're going to talk about my cases that are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about Amari Nicholson and Caleb Winsnap.
Oh, that's right. Caleb Winsnap or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really true. I've never seen that last name before. It's hard to pronounce.
Me either.
But that case, man, we got to talk about their interview, because you did a video on it, and I was just like, I was hooping and hollering watching these people with their crazy antics. Goodness.
We have decided if I get another one of these crazy parent please or whatever missing baby interviews, I'm just going to get Awen on here, and we're just going to record our reaction while we watch it together, because it's so much easier that way.
Yep. And it's funny. We get pretty funny. Jess and I like to watch stuff together, and we do live commentary like Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's us. So That might be kind of funny, actually.
Because we watched that together, and it was like, what in the world?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, hi, Leanne. How are you? I hope you had a good trip to Rexburg. Leanne runs the Doomsday group over on Facebook, and she
Oh,
had a
wow.
visit to Rexburg. It was really exciting. Got to see some stuff that, oh, it's really weird to see it almost in person like that. Oh,
Right.
definitely hard. So let's get some hearts in chat. Purple and blue hearts for Kay and Kresha, all the family and friends. And, justice is on its way. So we're going to have a good weekend. So I guess that's all we have for now. We have to go eat dinner, and we'll be back live in a couple hours. So have a great night, everyone. Hope to see all the channel members and patrons there for the narcissism live stream. And I'll be back with you as soon as we know anything. And Kresha, don't forget to get with me over on Discord, because, boy, we got work to do. We got work. And I have a new text message. Before we go, let me check in case this is news.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? We'd
There
be here
is news.
another hour.
There are new songs on Wombo.
Oh, woot!
We got to go play with Wombo.
There's
So, all right,
astronauts in the ocean on there now. Just saying.
let's go play with Wombo. Make some more videos. So thank you to all the mods for being here. I could not do this without any of you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone, all the channel members, all the super chats. That you have no idea how much that support means to me and how it really helps me keep doing this. So, all right, I'm going to go eat dinner, and we will talk with you in a couple hours. Jess, I'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Where's the bye button?